Anita, how's your mental health?
Questionable at all times. You know this.
Yeah, how's the mental health of your children?
Also a little bit tricky. Can I tell you my experience in trying to find therapists for myself and my kids, Mel?
Yes, please.
Okay, this is how it goes. You ask around your friends and your family for a referral for somebody who's nearby. You finally find somebody who sounds like they might work for your family. You give them a call and you find out that A, they're not accepting new patients, or B, they have a huge wait list. So you start over again and you ask people if they know anybody who would be a good therapist and a good fit. Finally, you find one, you go and you meet with them, and you figure out that you don't actually like them that much. But it's been so much work to find somebody who you can go to in your area that you're kind of stuck with them. Well, do you have any ideas for how to get around this?
I do because guess what? I've actually had some therapists that I have found on my own, which involves what you're saying. Sometimes I remember one time I was like 3 hours in the bathtub on my phone looking
Yeah.
through websites. I was such a prune at the end. But I have also had the experience with working with BetterHelp. And it was like, I don't want to say too good to be true, but because it is true, but it's like amazing because I was matched with my therapist within 24 hours.
And you didn't have to go through all of that other ridiculous process of trying to find somebody. And here's the cool thing too, is if that person didn't work out for you, you can just switch and say, and it's not like you're committing to another years long search for somebody who you're going to jive with.
It's true. And I lucked out, or maybe just BetterHelp is really good at matching people together because I never had to change my therapist. I loved her. Perfect fit for me. And I know that some of our friends have used BetterHelp and they've had to change therapists, and boom, same day, you can change.
Easy peasy.
You can ghost your therapist. Get a new one.
I love this idea. BetterHelp is one of our sponsors. If you use our promo code trybetterhelp.com/WWDN, you get 10% off your first month. And we totally recommend it.
Yes, get some therapy. That's trybetterhelp.com/WWDN.
It's been a long time.
Yeah, everybody, I'm sorry. I am going to be taking full accountability for the last 2 weeks. It's me, my problem.
It's me. Hi, I'm the problem. It's me. It's okay, Mel. It's been quite a while since we've chatted with each other
With each other, yes.
on the podcast, but we did see each other in person.
Yeah, we had a date, a widow date.
Yeah, we called it our corporate Christmas party, and we went to a jazz game, which is the
Yeah.
basketball team.
Oh, so I've been music directing for a former Utah Jazz basketball player that now is the announcer, Thurl Bailey. Woohoo!
Woo!
And because he does music sometimes, and so he was so kind and gave me 2 of his tickets in great seats,
Yep.
which allowed all access into the smorgasbord of amazing food that Anita and I had no idea existed. And Anita was my date.
Yep, and we got free nachos. Like, what else do you need in life?
Guys, we've been trying to get nachos for 2 years. We always are like, let's go to this gas station and get trashy gas station nachos. They're always out of cheese.
Come on, guys.
How?
I don't know, but we got them, and they weren't even trashy. They were like actually really yummy. So
Yeah. So a few things have happened since we talked to everybody last.
yeah, what
Thanks.
Thanksgiving happened?
Yeah.
How was it? Were you thankful? Did you write
No.
down a list of things you're grateful for, or was
Wanna
it
know
just
what?
a normal day?
Well, do you want to know what I did?
Yeah, that's why I asked you.
In classic, fine. In classic, I heard the snark in that. In classic Mel fashion, I avoided it like a boss. I took my trailer to an RV campground that is considered, I don't know, what do they call it? Like a high end one, if that's even a
Uh,
thing.
okay.
And it had better rates than it does in the summer. And of
Yeah.
course, every place ever in Utah is closed because it's winter, but this place is open. So it's amazing. I took my trailer, it was great. And then I winterized it after. What I did on Thanksgiving was I ate nachos and taquitos, and I called it Mexgiving. And I played Zelda on my TV, on my Nintendo, in my trailer. I didn't even take any dogs, and it was great. I avoided it. And I skated at the skate park outside.
It was a good day on think like it was a it was not a okay, I can't even remember that long ago. So,
Well, I went to the skate park and it was cloudy and cold, but
mm,
dry. And I
yeah.
kept skating. And then guess what? After my 2 hours of getting my angst out, it started to snow. Perfect
Mm,
timing.
yes.
What about you?
I don't remember. It was just like a normal
Eight.
Thanksgiving, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. 8. I think I went for a bike ride. It was great. All the good things. Yeah, I don't even know. But in the time since then, on Black Friday, I made the huge mistake of taking my son to the pet store with me. And we came home with a bird, and you can hear it in the background,
Oh
maybe.
my gosh. So okay, wait, a bird. Last time you got something at a pet store, you got banned from the pet store. It was a goldfish.
Yeah, they wouldn't even let me buy the goldfish. But funnily enough, they didn't even ask me any questions about buying a bird. So I don't know how to. The bird is scared to death. I feel bad for the bird. It just is like, what is my life? And I'm like, we love you. We're trying to be kind to you.
I'm glad you
And
didn't get a cat before, because.
but guess what? Now my eye is all itchy. So I'm like, am I allergic to the bird?
But you also have a snake. Will the snake eat the bird?
If the snake was allowed to eat the bird, probably. But the snake and the bird live in very different locations in the house. I'm not concerned about that at all.
Okay. Best of luck.
I want to talk to you about our episode last week a little bit too. Did you love Rosalind? She's amazing. I thought it was great that that episode came out right after Thanksgiving because I couldn't help but listen to that and be like, man, I'm so thankful that I'm here. Like she deals with a lot of stuff we don't have to worry about. And that was kind of a weird episode because we had such a big time lag because she's in Africa and we're in the US. So it was a little bit different than it usually is. That's why Mel didn't talk.
Yep, we usually
Just
do that
FYI.
when I just send stuff in the chat box. Like, ask this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a 30-second delay, I swear. But yeah, I love her. What an amazing woman. And she's doing so much good in the world. And one thing that I loved, but also at the same time, I realized that we could maybe take it a, a couple different ways. It is up to us widows to tell people our experiences. Sometimes we only have a certain amount of energy. And so community is important, and people who are able to help us have our voices shared, we are so grateful for those people. Because I know, like, for me, I'm like, I wish I could do everything. I wish I could uh go speak here and start this one thing here for widows, and like make some sort of strange compound so that people could have,
A
widows,
cult.
a cult that's not an uncult cult. But all I have energy to do is survive and do the podcast. And I know, oh, that's actually a good thing. But I know not everybody does a podcast too. That's a lot of effort. And so I think showing up in the world, and when you are able to tell your story, if somebody asks you, or, little things like that, that kind of helps the cause. Sometimes that makes me feel stressed though when I make it into something like a cause, because things can get politicized. But I don't know. However we can all help each other to kind of ease people's burdens. There are different ways of going about that. So thanks to everybody for being in the world and doing whatever it is you do, and sharing what you share, or not, or just surviving.
Doing what you can. To follow up with that with something that has nothing to do with that, Mel. We have an important public service announcement.
Yeah.
We've heard that if you use the Apple Podcast app to listen to our podcast, and if you have updated to the new iOS 17, apparently, if you have not listened to, I think it's the last 2 episodes of a podcast, it will unsubscribe you to that podcast. So go into your podcast player and make sure that you're subscribed so you don't miss all the podcasts that come out and think, where did they go? That's happened to me on a couple of podcasts. I'm like, why aren't they making this podcast anymore? And it's just because I missed a couple weeks and then it's just poof, gone. So make sure you go and update that so you don't miss out on
I'm
all
actually
of our.
during this exact moment trying to update my phone, and it's taking forever because I want to see if it's true. Stand by.
Yeah, and this Christmas season is upon us, and so here we go.
Whew, holidays, get them over with. That's how I feel. I like them, the season sometimes. I don't love the day. It's always been a hard day, but that was before widowhood even. So sending love and light and blessings. And if you have homicidal feelings, feel like you want to like go throw an axe,
You
go
can.
do it. Break some glass, do it. Not celebrate? Do it. Turn if you're a Christian and want to be Jewish, do it. Call Maya Glasser.
I'll help you convert.
Yeah, you can do Hanukkah.
Everybody, if you want to keep the podcast going, check out our Patreon. It's patreon.com/WWDN.
If you'd like to buy us tacos
or nachos
or taquitos for Mel's next Mexgiving, go to buymeacoffee.com/widow we do now.
And anyway, can't do those things. Just give us a rating and review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. We're going to do our Patreon shout out, and then we'll be back with our episode today, which is seasonally appropriate.
Woo!
I promised Mel that I was going to get my kids to help me out with the Patreon shout out this week. And then guess what I went and did? I put them all to bed. And I love you all, but there's no way that I'm going to get them back out of bed to do the shout out and then have to put them back to bed again. So you just get me to do the Patreon shout out all by myself. I'm sorry, it's not as fun, but here we are. All right, we're going to start with Constance Dahlbeck, David Kelly, Don Satterwhite, Emily Wiesenberg, Evelyn Flores, Ivan the Meisner, Jen Turk. Hi, Jen. Welcome. Kat, Krista Waite, Maya Glasser, Neil Hooper, Becky Ziba, Sam Finlayson, Karen Cornejo, Alexis King Audello, Amber Alanez Vela, Amy Hartman Martell, Annika Goodman, Ashley Hahn, Barbara Schneeberger, Becky Loiters, Berkeley, Brandy Younger, Chris Steffen, Cindy Wilkerson, Aunt Connie Remich, Danielle Catterberg, Not a Debbie Downer, Dennis Brazo, Diana Duhamel, Jen O'Brien, Jennifer Beal, Jennifer Brown, Karen Lindsay, Carol Schultz, Laura Aguirre Penner, Leah Johnston, Lisa Hardman Powell, Lou Clausen, Marie Hoffman, M.K. Anderson, Meg Murto, Patricia Wiest, Rachel Barbosa, Sunshine Haven, Alicia McAllister, Amy Burke, Ann Drennan, Anna Tracy, Audrey Henniger, Tammy Terravest, Trenton Thompson, Vivian Hart, and Wendy, wherefore art thou, Wendy? Thank you so much to everybody who has joined the Patreon and who continues to support us on Patreon. You really do make it possible for us to bring the podcast to all the widows of the world. And I'm sorry you missed out on my kids. Maybe next time.
And we're back. What are we doing?
Oh, Mel.
Yeah.
This is something I always start like by saying Mel. It's weird, but it's my comfort zone. This is a discussion that we have, I feel, quite often, or it's a question that people really come up against, especially when they're at their first holiday season. There is this great feeling of, how do I keep my person's memory alive? How do I include them in this really important season days that happen around the holidays? And it doesn't have to be a certain holiday or a certain religion, but people really feel like they want to include their person, but they don't know how. And so we asked our friends if they would share how they're keeping their people included in the holidays, and we just wanted to give you guys some ideas. Now, keep in mind that just like with everything else in widowhood, just because you do something one year doesn't mean you have to do it the next year. And just because you didn't do it last year doesn't mean you can't start something this year. So, yeah.
Love it. Okay.
I also asked the internet, because that's always fun. And I asked ChatGPT.
Yes.
Because that's the answer to all questions now. Although I got to say, ChatGPT sounded like the boring guy from a funeral home. He was like, just so you know, this might be a hard season. I was like, no doy.
You know what's the best? When you use ChatGPT about widow stuff, and sometimes I'll type things in there that, I don't know, I guess they're not inappropriate, but they're sensitive. And the first thing it says is, "Are you sure you want me to do that? Remember that this can be a sensitive topic for many." I'm like, thanks, ChatGPT, for being so sensitive.
Yeah. The AI guy is great. Okay. So here's a collection of the things that people have submitted to us or answered the question, and some of the things that I found. Okay, we'll just go through them. Sound good?
All right. Who's first? Yeah.
I mean, they're anonymous. So.
Here we go. These are all anonymous. Thank you to those who submitted. Okay, honoring your loved ones during the holidays. This person submits a donation in honor of their person. He collected nutcrackers, and so we buy a new nutcracker every year.
This is going to be a common theme is thinking about the thing that your person did during the holidays that made it special for them. You can't just ask everybody, the whole earth, what they would do for their person because everybody has their own traditions and everybody's personalities are different. So thinking about what your person loved about the holidays and then trying to recreate that, like with nutcrackers, like we didn't do nutcrackers, but that's special for that person.
Yeah.
Okay. A memory tree with special decorations that remind us of him. Love it.
My cute guy would always dress up as Santa and visit family and friends, so every Santa feels like it's him.
That's cute. We hang his stocking every year. We take family Christmas pictures and include a picture of him with us. And we take Santa pictures with his picture every year also. So I think that what this one is saying is that they have like a framed photo of their person and they include that, like somebody holding that in the family photo, is what I think it is. And I think that's pretty cool. And
I
with
just
Santa too.
I just had a random idea that's so funny in my mind. We do a Widow We Do Now local hangout with me and you,
Mhm.
and one of us is Santa and one of us is an elf, and you can get your pictures taken with us. Someone set it up and we'll show up. Otherwise, it won't happen. Okay, next.
Okay.
We hang my late husband's ornaments on the tree and hang his stocking, which still includes a lump of coal that my sister gave him one year as a joke. We toast to him and all we're missing before we begin brunch. My sisters and I place a wreath at our parents' grave every year.
That's lovely. I bought my sister-in-law a beautiful wooden angel.
I'm getting an ornament made with his handwriting on it to hang each year. Nice.
Fun. We hang my husband's stocking up, decorate his gravesite for Christmas, and have a few special ornaments. My mom had a shirt of his made into an angel ornament last Christmas for myself and the kids.
We each gave each other a gift that represented a memory we had: golf tees, fortune cookies, plastic toy buffaloes. I
What?
want to hear more about that one. Things that really only family would understand and appreciate. I typed up everyone's gift and memory that went with it to keep it in a book.
All right, this next one has a name, but we're going to leave it in because it needs to be in. Bill was always trying to shower my daughter and I with fun gifts. If he could have, he'd be one of those guys gifting me a new car with a big bow on top. Both my daughter and I try to carry on his toy themed gift giving. He loved all the holiday specials, but especially A Christmas Story. We have a leg lamp that stays up 365 days a year. I also put a Santa hat on the quote box of Bill that I have in our living room. I'm sure he'd love knowing we do that. So on his ashes, I'm guessing
I
that's
love
really
that.
funny.
That's awesome. We still hang my husband's stocking along with the rest of ours. And if anyone is so inclined, they can leave a letter, an item, or anything they want for him. We all love to talk about how he was our very own Clark Griswold. Fun.
It's hilarious. Yeah, I love everybody's what they do with the stockings. A lot of people still hang the stocking, but a lot of people do different things with the stocking, like putting things in it or asking people for memories and things like that. So I think that's really interesting. I know a few people also who have retired the Christmas stocking. So they have some sort of a ceremony or something where they take the stocking and they decide they're not going to put it up anymore. So it's all, there's no wrong answers. We light a candle for him on all family occasions. There are his ornaments on the tree and also a plaque saying Christmas in Heaven with a photo of him that we got his first Christmas in Heaven. We remember how he read the Christmas story before we opened any presents, and we carry on this tradition as a family. I would have hated that as a kid.
What? Really?
Reading the Christmas story before opening presents. Yeah.
Oh,
I'm like, ah!
we also hang his stocking and decorate the gravesite. We buy a new ornament for our tree for both husband, dad, and daughter, sister. It's bittersweet to see the number of ornaments we have now for each of them as we decorate every year.
Idea. My husband and I often purchased items ahead of time for our kids, especially if we found things at a good price. So my kids were able to receive gifts from their dad posthumously for the first two holidays after he passed. I hope to still find more as he passed in the middle of a move and we haven't gone through everything. Oh, I hope so too. That would be so amazing.
Yeah. I bought an ornament and I keep it year round to commemorate him. I hang it with my stocking. I'm still confused every year on putting anything personalized with his name up or not.
It's hard to
Mm-hmm.
know what to do. So, I don't want to do this. I'm
It's dark.
skipping that one. Is it okay? No.
Yes.
Okay. Number one, we have an in loving memory ornament with her photo. And two, every year we put out a Santa and a reindeer decoration that I had to buy because she knocked it off a shelf at the store. We all smile when we put when we put out the "you break it, you buy it" ornament. That's cute.
I still hang my husband and son's stocking. They have both died. Santa puts a few things in each one to take to the cemetery for them.
You see, another way to use
Mm-hmm.
the stocking. This is my first without my husband, my kid's dad, and I have been struggling with what to do this year. I had ornaments made for all family members this year with his signature and a Spotify code to a playlist that I made of his favorite songs.
Ooh, smart.
Technology, that's so cool.
Okay. We decorate the house the way he would have loved it. We have added to his quirky Santa collection and display them proudly.
I want a picture of the quirky Santa collection. That sounds fun. I returned to our regular Christmas Eve vigil mass. The first year I went Christmas morning. Resuming the vigil mass gets me back to something that was ours.
Hmm. We place an empty chair and a glass for his favorite wine, and we share something, a memory or what he would have liked, and we laugh and cry.
We had a place for Thanksgiving and for Christmas. I'm assuming that's like a place at the table. And his stocking is still up. His Lego train was rebuilt and is under the tree this year, along with special ornaments that include this one with his signature made from his PJ pants. I'd love to watch White Christmas, but it might be too painful. This is the second year without him.
Oh. The first Christmas after my late husband passed, my daughters had ornaments made from pictures of momentous occasions in our family. I only hang these pictures and crystal stars on my tree. No other ornaments.
Well, that's interesting. That's going to be like a really powerful tree. Okay. I spent the money I would have spent on his Christmas and gift it to a local family in need. I will be sharing in pictures and memories with all of the kids and grandkids.
His birthday is a couple weeks before Christmas, so I have a Christmas open house the Sunday closest to his birthday. Our friends and family help me decorate my tree, and I feed them some of his favorite foods along with my Christmas goodies. This year I bought a short sleeve shirt cookie cutter to make his trademark plaid short sleeve shirt. The more traditional ones people will be able to ice themselves, but I'm doing these myself. I miss that man so damn much. Other than that, I send his family some little things he would approve of and try to get through the holidays and our anniversary between Christmas and New Year's. Oh man, that's a hard
Hot.
Yeah, with some glimmers of peace or happiness here and there, usually related to food I ate or made, maybe having a clean house for a hot minute. My kids took me out to dinner on our 25th anniversary 2 years ago. I put on his Santa collection and his Christmas deers that were supposed to be him and my son, which I bought before we were married. I use all of the ornaments he bought over the years and place the memorial ones and cardinal ones on the tree in prominent places.
Love that. So this one is from somebody in the Widow Wives Club, and she had posted a link about her friend in Sarah, who lives in New Zealand. She does grief work, and at Christmas time, she does a campaign where you can submit a message to a loved one you've lost, and she'll write it on an ornament, and then she burns them on Christmas Eve. I love the idea. She sent me photos of the message that I sent to Bill. So it's like a message that you're trying to get to heaven. So that's kind of cool.
There's something cathartic about burning stuff too.
Oh,
I did that last year. I loved it.
it's kind of funny.
Yeah. We make some of his favorite dishes and also use his favorite dishes. They have little cowboys on the bottom.
That's cute.
Mm-hmm.
Last year, I had ornaments made for all the grandchildren, our son and his wife, and our daughter and her husband. Each one was a picture of him with them and their birth date to his death date with a message of how much he loved them. I handed them out and they unwrapped all at the same time. It was heartbreaking and wonderful all at the same time. We all still talk about him a lot and enjoy memories, but it's very hard and it's still a big empty hole. I'm so very thankful for the podcast. Aw, thanks. And look forward to every single one.
I still send her family a Christmas card every year.
That's sweet.
Yes.
That's a tricky one because we know that there can be some
Like, where does everyone fit in now?
Yeah, yeah.
Do you want to do the next one?
Is it mine? Okay.
Yeah.
I used the money I would have used to buy him gifts and buy myself more gifts.
Yes. Yes.
Might sound selfish, but I don't care. There's got to be some benefit to being widowed. Am I right?
Oh, you do what you need to do. I support this.
I love there was the one that was like, I donate it to a family in need. And then I'm just going to keep it all for myself. Honestly, this is what I do. So
Me too. Mine would be like, I use the money to buy more shoes, Converse in all the colors.
What's funny about this too is that Jason was probably the breaks of my holiday spending, and so he's gone. So I'm just like, I'm gonna
Hmm.
buy all of it because who cares? Everybody's gonna die anyway.
Seriously, have fun while you're here if you
Yep.
can. This will be Christmas number 4 without him. His stocking still goes up, as do most of the ornaments from his childhood. Some are terrible, others are in terrible shape.
I don't do nearly as much outdoor lighting and got rid of decorations that didn't have any meaning. I watch favorite movies and recite the lines to them as we always did, though it's just not as fun with me. Okay, this one touches on something that I think is interesting, and that's not what you do, but what you stop doing.
Ooh.
Sometimes I think that we only think of honoring them through what we do in the positive, in the like, not what we don't do. So I don't know how to say that any more clearly. That was really confusing. But sometimes how we honor them and ourselves and our growth is we change what we did. And maybe he or she had some weird decorations that you don't like. You take them down and you're like, that's what I'm going to do to go forward with this. And it doesn't have to be just about what you do to remember them, but maybe how you're going to change things because you have to move forward with your life and
Yeah.
make the new you. So that's
Yeah.
really interesting. So the next ones are ones that I just pulled up and thought they were kind of interesting ones. There's a few that I really like here, and I kind of wonder if I'm going to use them in my own life. So these will be
What?
quick.
Okay, why don't you read several and then I will
Okay.
read several? Do 4.
Okay. So designate a memorial candle. Now, this one you need to be careful with, but if you can keep a
If you have a
candle,
child
yeah, that's exactly
or
what I'm
me.
thinking. I'm like, no.
Wait, is this like you go to a cathedral and designate a candle, or like in your house it's a candle?
Oh, you could do both. I'm sure both would be amazing, but I think this one, what I had in my mind is that you have a candle at your house that you keep lit for a certain number of days or however long your celebrations last.
Hmm.
So, yeah.
Next.
Make a garland chain of memories. So I thought this one sounded really fun and fun to do with kids. So, those link chains you make that you made in elementary school to count down the days before Christmas?
Hmm.
So everybody writes down a little memory and then you link them all together and make like a garland that you can either hang around the house or put around the Christmas tree. I thought that one sounded really fun.
Yeah.
And then kind of on the same lines was set up a memory jar. So everybody writes, or you put like paper next to it and then people can write down memories and you put it in the jar and then you can read it on Christmas.
Nice.
Um, Along with donating to a good cause or something that would have been meaningful to your person's volunteering in their memory. So,
Nice.
yeah.
All right. Make a scrapbook of holiday memories with your person. Now, I have a question about this. I have like none.
So maybe not going to be a
So that's not going to work.
great one for you.
But I can see how that would be helpful for some.
Yeah, we have some scrapbooks. They're not just holiday specific, but I catch my kids looking through those quite often actually. So,
Hmm.
kind of cool.
Make a secret word or phrase or gesture between family members that you can use when something reminds you of your person. Should that be like flipping off somebody? Like that's what I would do. Can you tell that I'm like kind of not
You're a
not loving
little
holidays?
you're a little spicy today. This is my favorite one. I think this one's so cool because it can just be a little moment where you're thinking of your person or somebody says something and there can just be a wink or a nod or a flipping off that just says to the people around you, like, this reminds me of him and
Yeah.
and he's right here.
Create a playlist of their favorite songs, holiday or just the regular ones, and play it. Okay, that was like all of the options. Oh, I see. Okay, never mind. Create a playlist of their favorite songs, whether it be holiday or just their regular favorite songs, and play it.
Yeah, and you can even put it on an ornament apparently. Just learned that. That's so cool.
Yeah. Write a Christmas letter to your person. Let them know what has happened to you this year. He won't want that.
I was thinking about this one though when we were talking about like the catharsis of burning it. Like if you had a bad year and you want to write about it, do it and then burn it up. I
That,
like the
yeah.
idea of this one too, just to be like, this is what happened and this is where we are and this is what we accomplished and this is how proud of me you should be. And, just like we send to our great aunt Matilda or whatever, you can be a little more honest in this one to your person. So.
Yeah, last year at for New Year's, I wrote down all the hard things that had happened, and it was like a lot of stuff, like dead dad, bad breakup, da da da. And there was something healing about burning it and watching
Mhm.
it burn. So yeah, get it out, burn it.
Um, leave an empty chair or an empty plate at holiday gatherings. I've heard this one a lot. Or serve their favorite cocktail, wine, or drink at your holiday gatherings and make sure you let people know. And then, like the stocking we were talking about, put a family gift in the stocking. So not something just for them, but for everybody to enjoy. Or spend time in a place that was important to your person.
The bathroom.
Is that where Scott's favorite place was?
Well, I don't know. My dad's favorite place because he could read as long as he wanted and nobody would bug him.
Oh my goodness. That's before phones. I mean, come
I know.
on.
He didn't even take his phone in the bathroom. He was
He was old
so
school. He was like
way.
reading the newspaper or
Yeah.
something. That's funny.
Here is an unprompted and unscripted question I'm going to ask you, Anita. You can help me with it. Because I'm like, all right, I'm kind of spicy today. It's holiday season. Don't love holidays. Don't feel great. Didn't have very much time with Scott. Have more time without Scott than with. What do I do?
Yeah, that's a really good question because for you, it's about building what your holidays are after him. You only had one Christmas together. So it's not like you have a ton of memories or traditions or I would say, Mel, and this is just me, that you should build your holidays going forward in a way that you think would make Scott proud. So, not specific traditions or specific activities or how you do things, but just more the general feel of it. Like Scott was a kind person. Scott um, wanted to make people feel included and loved. And so I think just those general vibes is what I think.
Okay. Well, I try to do that every
Like
day.
in your all life. Do it
But
like more.
maybe I should not isolate as much, but sometimes it's hard. Like
Yeah.
it's a hard day when everything's about families and you don't have that.
I was just going to say, it's also not just because you didn't have a lot of Christmases with Scott, but you're kind of alone. Like, sorry, but you don't have a huge extended nuclear family, I
Mm-hmm.
guess. And you're having some struggles in that department anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And then you didn't have kids. You
Mm-mm.
don't have millions and billions of nieces and nephews. It's just like, I don't know. Sometimes we assume that unless we had a huge life insurance payout, we don't really need to know anything about investments or even finances. But guess what? A little knowledge of finances is critical for all of us. Maybe your partner was in charge of that stuff, and now you find yourself making all the decisions. Maybe you're mad about that. Maybe I am. Nicole from the He's Gone But the Money's Not podcast is here to help. She tackles financial literacy by telling the stories of women and widows and finance experts and shares the lessons they've learned as certified financial planners. Whether you know a lot and feel confident in your financial decisions or feel unsure about all of that stuff, there is more to learn. Listen and subscribe to the He's Gone But the Money's Not podcast on all podcast platforms. This ad was paid for by Rockhouse Financial, an SEC registered investment advisor.
Yeah. I
That's
mean,
a
and
really
I
good
do have
question.
Scott's nieces and nephews. Sometimes my energy is like, I don't know if I can get up and go do anything because it's heavy. It's always been heavy. I mean, and also, yeah, Anita's. You've watched this just as the years have gone by because sometimes I'll have reactions to stuff, and you're like, is your reaction actually about that thing, or like what is behind it? And then there's definitely, I think my entire adult life kind of being on the in the single category and trying to be partnered and then it not working out and having that be the source of a lot of pain, and then ultimately feeling like I was always other. And again, I live in Utah where I am other if I'm not in a family. I go out of state, it's a little bit different. The same questions don't get asked to why you're single, or it's not strange to be whatever age I was at and be single. But in Utah it was, and that's where I grew up. So Yeah, there is a lot of like past stuff I think that's been really difficult, and holidays have always been difficult because my family situation. There's been some volatility on almost every single holiday, and when my grandma died, that kind of was our glue that gave me any sort of stability and family gathering where I knew it would be fun. And so once she died, it's like everyone kind of split off into their respective families, like aunts and uncles, and then it was not going to predictably be fun. It was
Yeah.
more like,
How's
okay,
this going to be?
how long until there's like an explosion? So I do have a lot of stuff that's underlying with that. Then add widowhood, and so I think sometimes like me, I personally I get to holidays and I'm like, cool, I want to have a good experience and I want to try my best, and it's easy to look back and be like, here are all of the reasons why it's just been a disaster and it's hard. So I guess I just time helps and healing helps, and maybe it'll take me till I'm 50 to have a part of a good day on a holiday. I don't know,
Yeah. It's
but
really interesting
mm,
because do you think that your holiday experience has changed um like in the year since Scott has died? Has it gotten better? Has it gotten worse? Or has it just gotten different because of the other situations that are also present or that have happened since he died?
the thing that's interesting is the first Christmas he was dead. I mean, it had only been a month and a half,
Yeah.
and it was right after our anniversary, of course. I I still had that adrenaline of I must keep everyone together. And we were doing all these things that, not all of the things we just listed, but a lot of them. And it's like, let's do the things that Scott loved, like, let's share memories. And some of that really got me through a portion of the day until it didn't. And then something broke me. And then I was so caught off guard that I was just decimated. Like, I had to go home, was in bed the rest of the day, not only for that day, the next day, and the next day. And so that part was hard. And also, right before Scott died, I remember telling him, hey, for the first time in 15 years or so, I walked into a grocery store and saw holiday stuff and smelled holiday smells. And I didn't think, oh, great, how do I survive this? And I didn't think, okay, maybe I can get through it. But I actually had a positive feeling where I thought, I could maybe enjoy it this year. Boom, then he dies. So it's like this silly, ridiculous trick from life. So I don't know. I felt little glimmers of hope. I felt it right before Scott died. Then he died, and I was thrown off with how grief and holidays are. And they've all been unpredictable since then. There was one a couple of years ago where I think the vibe in the room, some of us could tell that it was about to get a little volatile, and so we ended things before it got there. So it was relatively okay. It was right before my dad died, a week before my dad died. And then my dad died. And now there's even more turmoil. So I don't know. I don't remember the original question.
Yeah. Well, I will just, in thinking of that question for myself, which you don't remember, so I can answer whatever I want. But,
Okay.
have the holidays gotten better or have they changed in any way? And I will say that they've gotten a lot better for us.
Good.
So it's not as it's just like everything else where we've added more memories to the holiday memory bank. And so not everything is a comparison to what it was before or what it quote unquote should be. And now we've got more holidays under our belt of this being the normal and it being okay and making it through and having fun and smiling and laughing. And of course, having moments you're just like, dang, they should be here
Yeah.
for this. But that's not the overwhelming sensation that it used to be. And also, I just remember the first couple Christmases just feeling like my head was in a big, like, puff of clouds or something. Like I felt like my head was floating over my body, and I was just like, this isn't real. This isn't, this isn't real Christmas. Someday it's going to be real again, but this isn't what it is. And I don't have that same, like, bleh about it anymore. Now I just have the normal, like, it's just too much to do and too much to take care of and all of that kind of
Mhm.
thing. I there was a post in the Widow Wives Club that I think you can speak to a little bit also, is just how the holidays are so child focused. They're so family focused. They're so, you're giving gifts to your kids, or you're, spending time together as a kid, that if you don't have kids, that it's kind of a time where it is hard to figure out, what's your place and why aren't you important to the holiday season as well.
Yeah.
It's not just about that.
Yeah. And I know a lot of people have their friend groups, or they call them chosen family, and it's really great to have a supportive network of people who you have chosen to be those family members. Now, not all of them are going to be available on the holiday, so it's a little different, but yeah, it's hard. I mean, I was in Orem, Utah the other day, and I walk in the grocery store just to go buy something at Walmart, and it says Orem, Utah, Family Center, USA. And I'm like, oh my gosh,
Turn around
like
and walk out. You're
I
not welcome there.
didn't realize that till now. I don't belong here. Obviously, whatever, it's just a little decoration, but it's like those things send messages to people who don't have family. What if you're orphaned? What if you're in turmoil with your family? What if you have dead people? So it's hard. I think things like this are hard. I know a lot of stuff caters as far as marketing, buy stuff for your children, buy stuff for your wife, buy stuff for your husband. So that stuff plays into society always. But yeah,
It's just funny because that's just like capitalism. And
I
it's like,
know.
why do we care about that? It's just stupid anyway, but it's just that
Yeah.
like little message. It's the same as, it's so silly, but when people send holiday cards, I like to get their little holiday messages, but every time it says like Anita Coyle or anything that doesn't include Jason's name, I'm just like, yep, we're different. Like, yep,
Mhm.
it's different than it used to be. And it used to be kind of painful. It's not painful anymore, but still every time I get those, I'm like, oh, yep, not, we're different than the other people. And um it's just like silly reminders, even though they don't really mean anything. It's
Yeah,
like,
they just
why do I
are.
care?
Yeah, I mean, and ultimately it's up to us to figure out our way through, which sucks because we didn't choose this. It's possible to have good times, but I think it's more realistic to maybe expect that it's not going to be perfect and always cheery. So, yeah. For those who don't love holidays, I'm there with you. I just want to run away. I love going to
You
things. I wish things were open on Christmas that I want to do because I know all the families will be opening presents. So then I can go and I don't have to feel sad and I can have the place to
you
myself.
can come to my house, by the way, though, if you want. Anytime.
Thank you. Thank you. So, yeah. Okay, now let's end it.
Okay. We would love to hear people's experiences with the holidays, what they're anticipating, what they've done, if you've got other ideas for how to include your person, what has changed over the years. So let us know about that. And just good luck. We put this episode out a few weeks before Christmas because we wanted to give you some ideas and just help you figure out how you're going to get through it. And you are going to get through it. That's the crazy thing, is everybody gets through the holidays. I haven't met anybody who hasn't gotten through the holidays to the other side. Might be
Yes.
painful, might be ugly, might be wonderful. Like, I don't even know, but you're going to do it. So
Yeah.
good luck.
All right. I'm Mel,
And I'm Anita.
and I don't love holidays.
And I'm fine with them. I like them. I especially like putting up my fake Christmas tree and then a Christmas candle that smells like a Christmas tree, because we can't just do it the simple way.
And I
We're
love
two,
Clonopin.
we're two young widows. We're trying to figure out widow
We
do for the
now.
holiday.
Woo. This is my favorite thing to discuss with you.
Tell me, what is it?
One of my favorite things. I do enjoy tacos and cheese and dogs. This is about how you cannot pay hundreds and hundreds of dollars for a phone plan, especially when you're a widow, your person is dead, you might have kids, you might need another option, and you just want your phone to work, you want unlimited texting and service, and you want it to be like $25 a month.
It blows my mind that they have plans that start at $15 a month. That is so cheap. And the cool thing is it uses other 5G networks, and so you don't have to pay extra for that, and you still get great service.
Yep, Anita and I have traveled all over, and I have used my phone. So I highly recommend it. And my mom's even on it. When my dad died, we put his phone down to the cheapest plan, which is $15 a month. And I think my mom's on the $20 a month plan, and it's so worth it. It's so much cheaper than what we were all paying before. So I highly recommend it if you're on a budget or not. Who cares? Ryan Reynolds is in charge of the company, and they send you free stickers with Ryan Reynolds temporary tattoos. It's kind of the best. So if somebody wants to sign up, what can they do, Anita?
Go to trymintmobile.com/WWDN. Seriously, you guys, such a great idea. Save yourself some money.
And if you're worried about losing data or having any changes with your phone, not going to happen. They walk you through it. Everything's fine. It's the easiest process of all time. Again, that's
trymintmobile.com/WWDN.